You've been wondering whatever happened to Hannah, right? The employee that I represented in a severance negotiation. I'm going to talk about that in this particular video, and we're going to lay out some of what we worked on to help her first explain to her soon-to-be former employer the leverage that she had that warranted additional severance pay. But I'm going to also talk a little bit about the competing interests and how we got around that. I'm Nancy Schick of 30R Conflict Resolution. I'm an employment attorney and mediator. I'm based in New York City, but I can mediate disputes worldwide as I have been doing since about 2005. So in Hannah's case, you might remember that she called me originally to just review the severance agreement, but as I'm trained to do, I, of course, did an intake to make sure that we looked at all the potential issues, because that is how you get leverage, right? She, in her particular situation, had been subjected to a hostile work environment that her employer wasn't even really seeing. And a lot of that I'm seeing occurs because it's protected classes in conflict. And even employers who had the best intentions started prioritizing different protected classes over others, again, with the best intentions of trying to equalize and the playing field, create opportunities, and advance equity. But in the course of all of this, they started unintentionally discriminating against other employees in their organization. So that was the leverage Hannah had. But she didn't really hate her employer. She knew that the main reason that she was being let go was not a performance issue as much as it was the employer was having financial trouble. So she needed more for herself, but she also knew that the competing interest of her employer was that they didn't have a lot of money to offer her. So what we did is we talked about first the mutual interest in avoiding going to court, because that would have cost both of them a lot of time, money, and energy. But we also then looked at what was Hannah going to need to get some sort of replacement employment and to pay her bills in the interim. So yes, a little bit of additional severance was necessary, and she did end up getting that, by the way. But it was also that she needed help with maybe a job search. So having a career coach involved was something that they could offer that they had available because they were under contract. And that was a benefit that didn't necessarily have a line item when it came to the severance agreement when they were making the calculation, but it was something of value that they could offer, and it really didn't take anything away from them. That way, they weren't committing funds they didn't really have. And then the other thing that happened in that is she left with a better attitude about the employer. So she's still looking at the other people that work there. Some of them might be losing their jobs if things don't turn around for the employer. And now she is providing a channel for them to possibly find replacement employment. So it's a win for everybody. And that's the big thing that we listen for as mediators that's a little bit different, or really a lot different from what we experience in the courtroom. That's why I'm such a proponent of mediation. And I invite you to consider that, including if you have something like a severance agreement. In the meantime, of course, keep listening with your third ear. For those hurts you can heal.